Okay, so guys, welcome to I guess it's our third live session as the Data Analytics Cup. Today we're going to be talking about data visualization. That is a skill that we haven't talked much in the Data Analytics Cup before. So we would like to have you guys share this knowledge with you because we believe it's really important in any data analytics skill set. Okay, so I'm going to start sharing a presentation for today. Uh, okay. So, guys, I also wanted to thank you for your time. This is going to be a really good introduction for anyone that doesn't know much about data visualization and data storytelling. I'm Patricio Rios for the guys that doesn't know me. I'm being a year here in the company with the Dataverse team. I'm also a co-leader of the Data Analytics Cup with Carlos that is also in the meeting. What we want to talk about today, I guess a lot of people have been familiar with Power BI. Power BI is a visualization tool by Microsoft that it's been helping a lot of data analysts throughout the latest years in trying to visualize our data in a more efficient and practical way. And what I want to talk about today is how we apply a set of principles that will help you communicate in a more efficient way your data through graphics and visualizations. What we are going to be discussing today, we're going to give a little introduction. We're going to teach you guys how to choose the right charts. We're going to be also have a little bit of design with our graphics and visualization so the user uh, can relate to what it's seeing, and it also helps him to make better decisions. We're also going to visualize different sources of data, relationships. We're going to compare timelines and all sorts of graphics that we're going to see. We're also going to create a set of lists and checklist so you guys can create an effective dashboard. We're going to have some final thoughts, final conclusions, and finally, we're going to close this with a live study case that I prepared for you guys. First of all, I want to start by saying that data storytelling is a crucial component for effective data visualization. You need to tell a story to your key user, to your client. It needs to have some sort of context so everyone in the room understands this type of data that you're showing. It also allows you to communicate insights because data, as it's presented, it doesn't say much. You part of the being a data analyst is trying to get those insights and make the most of it so everyone has a memorable and engaging experience with your dashboards and visualizations. So remember, guys, data storytelling and data visualization really key for any data analyst. So how we choose the right chart type, when we start any dashboard, any Power BI, um, we see a blank space. So it's really tough getting to start with the right chart, and it's mainly confusing at first, but when you have the experience, you know that first you want to take a really good look at your data. You want to understand what you're trying to analyze, and then you start deciding based on the communications that you have or meetings that you have before with your key stakeholder. You kind of get a grasp of what you're really trying to show for better decision making. So I always start with the two basic charts that everyone is familiar with, the bar charts that are used to compare different sets of data or different variables between a data set. You can use a stack bar chart to see how it is composed. Maybe you want to see your yearly sales, how it is composed between quarters. You can use the stack bars. And if you want to use also cluster bar charts to compare multiple categories side by side, it's also really helpful for any data analyst. Also, we have line charts, and line charts are very useful because in any dashboard, in any type of analysis, we need to understand how the patterns work. And patterns work between a timeline series. So line charts are really useful for showing trends over time because we want to spot, we want to look for those patterns to kind of understand what's going on with our data. Okay, so we have to use area charts and stack line charts that are really helpful to kind of get a grasp on how is the behavior over time of our set of data. Okay, so we also want to look for the relationships between our variables. Okay, so that is key important to get the most of insights that we need to express that to our key stakeholder. So I use these three main visualizations for trying to spot those relationships between our data. So scatter plots are a great way to visualize the relationship between two variables. Bubble charts are used in a similar way from the scatter plot, uh, but this can be useful for showing relationships between two or more variables. Okay. And finally, my preference that I always use in my dashboards are the heat map. Heat maps are a great way to visualize the correlations between variables. The use of colors also represent the intensity of the variable, so you get to visualize really spot on how your data is behaving between different variables. So heat maps are really good in terms of visualizing relationships. Also, guys, we need to understand that what I've just shown you, that is not the whole skill set that we can use in terms of what we would like to show. We talk about comparison between bar charts. We talk about relationship between two or three variables, but we also need to look at compositions, as I mentioned, and we also need to know the distribution of, you can say your yearly sales, how your most performance products are distributed, and you need to understand that compare the comparison relationship, composition and distribution represents each a unique visualization. So here's a chart that I will later share with you, so you can know which type of chart you would like to use for an effective dashboard. So after that, we gather our data, understand it, and start doing our visualizations and our graphics in our dashboard in Power BI. We need to keep in mind that we are not going to be the end user. Okay, our key stakeholder, our client, our leader are going to be the users of these dashboards. So we need to have some sort of points to reference when we want to also make our dashboards. And one main key point that I always like to share is that we need to keep it simple. Nowadays, if we Google dashboards in Power BI, we're going to be looking at a lot of graphics, a lot of colors, a lot of noise that I would like to say. And what I will tell to you in my experience is that the end users or key stakeholders are not mainly there for the aesthetics of it or the colors, but it's there for the information. So we would like to keep it simple, try to bring down as much noise in your dashboard, remove all the clutter that you get to see, because the the visualizations in Power BI, the default visualizations tend to have a lot of clutter. So we're going to see how we can get rid of those. Another thing that it needs to be really important when you're designing is that you need to be consistent. You need to maintain consistency in designs and your elements, your fonts, your color palette, and all those inputs need to be considered before you start doing your visualizations, because it will tell that if you're consistent throughout your whole report, it will have a much cleaner look, and you will the end key user will have a much better understanding of it. We also need to provide context. We need to make sure that we provide context for the data being presented. We need to also really keep in mind that not everyone in the room is familiar with data visualization, lingo, or type of communication. So we need to be clear and concise about the business industry, about what we're trying to accomplish with our data visualization or dashboard. Use titles, labels, annotations, recommendations. It doesn't always not need to be all graphics. A little bit of text so the users can understand what you're trying to show. It is also recommended. And finally, you need to include interactivity, and you need to allow users to interact with your dashboard using filters, slicers, uh, drill downs as possible, because you don't want to have an static dashboard that no one clicks on it. You need to have some sort of interactivity to whoever you provide this dashboard. Uh, they, you can say they need to play with it a little bit so they can get the most of the data that you're providing to them. Okay, so you need to keep these 4 points in consideration for the user experience in your dashboards. Okay, so far we've gathered along our data, we understand it, we try to use it in the best way possible, using the chart types that are necessary for those data. We also consideration user design for our key stakeholders. And before we share our Power BI dashboards, we need to we need to keep in mind these 5 points that is kind of my checklist. You can say before I send out uh, our dashboards. You need to define your audience and the purposes of dashboards. You need to understand who you're presenting to, who is talking to you, and who will use this, and what is the final goal of it. Is it make a better decision? Is it to present something to their leaders on a monthly basis? You need to kind of understand what you're trying to accomplish with your dashboard. You need to ensure that data accuracy and consistency before sharing with others. This is a key point, guys, because when I was a very beginner data analyst, I would just make my dashboard and I would just rush away and send it over. But then the key stakeholder would say, hey, I don't think this is making much sense. The years and the sales are not very consistent. Can you take a look at it again? And that is a point I think that most of us will fail at the beginning. So when you're trying to visualize your data, make sure have some moments aside before you send it to really assure that what you're providing is the best data, and it's consistent throughout the whole report, and it's accurate. Things that doesn't make sense will show up in your visualization. So take a moment to really understand that when you're sending is the right data. Also, you want to provide clear instructions, maybe always having a first page of a menu so you can redirect where you want your key user to see. Maybe you just don't want him to go in all the tabs in your Power BI file. You want to have a menu so you can redirect to the sales page, uh, to um, to the product page, and so on. So you might want to have some sort of menu that gives also interactivity to your end user. Also, guys, this is also something that I learned along the way. Data it's needs to be secure. Not everyone gets to have access to the data you're presented, and Power BI dashboards tend to be really public once you share it. So you need to have a clear communication with your key stakeholder or leader to see who gets to see which data. Maybe you are working with HR and you're having some sort of data with salaries and job roles, and nobody gets to see that. So you might want to share those concerns with your key stakeholder in order to just protect your data from anyone else. And finally, you need to collaborate with your stakeholders to gather feedback. This is really important, guys, because you need to keep improving your dashboard. It's not always going to be like the first time you present it. Uh, Things will come up along the way, and I hope that that happens, because that's the way you know you're improving and your stakeholder is having what they need. You know, so these are 5 points that you really need to take in consideration before you send out and share your Power BI dashboard online or with your leaders or stakeholders. Okay, so our final thought with this time create dashboards in Power BI, you need to keep in mind that data visualization it's a powerful tool that can help organizations make informed decisions and make better decisions based on data. You know, and by following principles that we've talked about in this presentation, you can make more effective, more productive, and more engaging Power BI dashboards that get the attention that you need. And finally, it's helpful for your key stakeholder. Okay, so with everything that we've gathered along here, I want um, I want to step over to what will be a real life case study. Okay, so what I'm about to show you guys is a little presentation inside Power BI. So you guys get to know that you can get also do presentations inside Power BI. And what I'm about to show you is, let's just imagine hypothetically that we're going to meet Alex Johnson, which is a key stakeholder and senior manager in a sales department. And Alex Johnson is trying to look out for trends and patterns that can offer valuable insight for him. Okay, so the context is that Alex just received the latest sales report, and he wants his data analyst to dive deep into the annual sales and also get insights so we can communicate to our stakeholder what's been going on with the sales, so he can make a strategy off of it. Okay, so what would be an expected outcome that we can present to Alex, which is our stakeholder? He wants to gather some insights with analysis that will significantly inform the sales and marketing strategies for the upcoming years or the fiscal year. So by understanding the sales trends, popular products, and customer preference, they think they can maximize their sales revenue for the upcoming year. So this is not a far off example of what really goes on in the data analytics industry. This is also a bunch of the work that we also do here in Arroyo. We have some meetings with our clients, with our stakeholders. We gather much information as we need in terms of the goals of what we are trying to achieve. And we present some expected outcomes. But before that, we need to have some questions, later after our meeting with our key stakeholders. There's always some questions about what they would like to see in order of their needs. So what we took about from Alex Johnson is that he would like to look at the sales trend. What is the monthly sales trend over the past year? Are there specific months with noticeable spikes? So we're going to look at patterns, what happened in the most performing top months. We also want to know which are those popular products that we're selling the most and which are the lowest. We would like to see which items are not selling and why is that. We also want to take a look at customers, uh, who are the top customers by sales value, and also the pricing, which is very important to understand also trends in sales. What is the range of gross amount of sales? Are there specific product styles or sizes that generate higher revenue? So these all are questions that you will get from not specifically from your stakeholder, but you need to also read between the lines to also suggest what type of visualization they would like to see. So it's a combination that you will get from the meeting, which is really important with your stakeholder. You will later have some time to kind of digest everything that was said, what they would like to see in terms of trends, in terms of customers, but insights. And once you have that, you can start your dashboard. Okay. And this is not your dashboard. This is what you will maybe get at first uh, with the data you were presented. As you can see, and I wanted to this so you guys can understand what would be the difference. Here are some basic principles that we talk about in a presentation. You can use interactivity with sizers. You get cards you get the colors to be consistent. But as you can see, there's too much clutter. You don't get the most of the data here. Okay, so and this is the default visualizations that Power BI give us. So we're going to go through some sort of transformation uh, to kind of understand, and later we will answer these questions with our visualizations. Okay, so first of all, we are trying to use as much consistency as we can using the right color palette, using the slicers, using the right fonts, and also, as you can see, everything here is not just numbers and visualizations. We have a recommendation section. You can see that we have titles aligned also with the graphics that we're seeing, so nobody gets lost. We have labels, that indicates what is that you're seeing. And here you can see I left a blank space because I would like to do this live with you. We are going to first understand like the sales pattern. Okay, so what we like to see in the x-axis, I think we would like to see months, to try to understand the patterns. So we have here month that we are going to track, and then for axis y, we would like to see our total sales. But as you can see, it doesn't align, it's not consistent with our whole set of the dashboard. So I would like to do some transformation with you guys live here so we can try to understand how we could do this. So, okay, wait, okay. So we first of all, we should go for the title. As you can see, the title is not really aligned with what we're trying to see. So I'm gonna take the title from here, and we are going to use it over here. So we get to see this is the sales trend. We can also use another set of font. Maybe we can upgrade this a little bit, and I will also like to use a color that is being used throughout the whole report. So this should be good. We also get to add a label or subtitle that we're also going to get from here. Okay, so guys, it's really important that we could label, our graphics, because it really communicates something, because as we noticed before, it really didn't say much. Okay, so it's just a matter of that you play a little bit with the visualization options that you get to see here. We can also add a divider between our labels and our graphics. Let's use this color, just put it in two. Maybe we can add some spacing on it. And we go over to the X axis. We don't want to see the title. It is implied that we're looking at our months, and you can see here we have a blank. This also tends to happen with your data, and that's what I was telling about, that you need to look for inconsistencies and accurate. So you don't want to present something that it says blank. So we should go to filters. We should select everything but leave blank outside. So we now have our month as it should be. They're accurate now. Okay. I would also like to change a little bit the color of the month. Maybe have it number 10. Now, if we go over to the y-axis, we should do the same. Um, we can scale uh, and also invert the range. I will just leave it that way. We will take out the sales title, and we also the values that are showing. You can also change the font. You can do some sort of visualization transformation, so the visualization it's in line with the other ones. If you want to show any units, you want to show any, you just want to show how it is. I prefer this way, so you can really know where is that amount. Okay, so if we scroll a little bit down, we would like to get rid of the background. And wait, we'll take away the secondary X, Y-axis. Oh, if we want to show data labels, that is also really good. Uh, I think they are a little bit too much, so we want to just take the the amount and make it a little bit smaller. If we want to have some sort of background, so we can highlight the amounts. And I'm trying to get away from the background. Let's just say, wait, okay. Let's as you can see, this y-axis is not showing, so let's just try it again. Now we can see here the label. We cannot see, so we should try to put another color font. This is in the title, subtitle. Maybe we should go for a gray. Okay, so now we can look better. Now the final step for me will be the line that is not aligning with all colors. That blue is just not really consistent. So what we're gonna do is, okay, total says that's the line. Maybe we should go for kind of a white, and also the labels are really not showing that well. So maybe we could try for uh, this. Okay. So as you can see, we come away from what it was the default visualization for a line chart. And with a few steps with the format, we get to have a more consistent line chart that explains month to month the distribution or the pattern of our sales. So that's what I was trying to show you guys, that you can explain, you can answer these type of questions with your visualizations. Here you can see have some sort of recommendations that there's been spikes lower and upward between the months of May and September. So that is maybe a seasonal thing for the sales that we want to discuss with our key stakeholder. We also would like to show what are our best performing months according to the total profits and sales and also the average sales. That is really important maybe for a stakeholder, and maybe if we want to take a look at it just a couple of years or a couple of months, we can also take a look at that as well. And if we go over to the products, we would like to know, as we here mentioned, which product styles are the top sellers, what sizes are the most commonly purchased. So here we have bar chart that will tell us the style of sales according to which one. I mean the set 268 is the product with the most sales. And what you can also do, maybe applying some conditional formatting, you can say to Alex Johnson, hey, you can see here that all these products are above 80,000. These are our best performing styles. And then we have our worst performing styles that are below 40,000. And that is a very graphic way that you can show your stakeholder how is that styles distributed, between the sales. You can also use pie charts to understand distributions. Here we have style sales evolution over years, how a comparative gross amount for selected styles between 2021 and 2022. You can see that 2021 was the year that it was had the most gross amount of sales between those 2 years. You can also have the style sales distribution by size. You know, here you can clearly see that there are three sizes that are distributed with almost 20%, which is size S, M, and L. Okay, so that is a really good insight for a stakeholder to understand, and also we can add interactivity to select which size we would like to see in terms of gross revenue. Okay, if we go over to our customer, we would like to get as much insights that we can have in terms of sales volume and purchasing behavior. So here you can see more bar charts that help with that distribution. And also one thing that I've been really getting used to a lot is having some sort of summary using cards in Power BI. They are really helpful to give a summary to a stakeholder or the user, so they don't get really much confused with the graphics. Here's a pretty straightforward summary of the average sales, total sales, total sales in each year, total customers, and average customers. Okay, so this is a really good summary that you can start with any dashboard that you have. And also you get to see the distribution of customer by sales. Okay, this is a monthly comparison of total sales versus average sales per customer, always using labels, always giving context, really important, making sure also data is accurate. Here you have a legend that users can relate. You're watching that all the bar charts are total sales and the average sales is the line chart. You can also mix between bar charts and line charts, so you can furthermore explore the insights that you might want to get from your data. So you get to see the best performing customers for Alex Johnson to see why are we having less sales with these customers, who is giving the lowest average sales. And also we can maybe filter by size S, which was one of the best performing sizes. Maybe the customer is different and we would like to see why. Those are another type of questions that you get also along the way while you're trying to build your dashboard. You might want to try to suggest some recommendations to your key stakeholder, other ones that the questions that we already got. Okay, so we also have here the sales distribution, how it is the sales distributed by our style and size. So that's composition, that we see when we're trying to get a right chart type. This is all composition by sales. We are also looking at sizes by yearly, which ones were the most sold between 2021 and 2022. We can see that the size M is being sold the most between the other sizes, and also has a very good gross sale amount in 2021. Okay, always remember to put some labels on it to understand and that the exact amounts that you're trying to see. And finally, if we go over to prices, we're going to be looking at two of what I consider one of the most powerful visualizations the Power BI offers, which are this composition visualization type that will allow you to break down whatever variable that you're trying to comprehend, whatever variable you're trying to study. Power BI will do in the background calculations to understand how it is mainly composed. Okay, so if we start going in to deep dive in our total sales, we can ask that I want to see how it is composed by a highest value. Okay, so it would tell me that the style that had the biggest growth sale is a set 268, followed by this other type of styles. But I also want to know how the styles are composed by size. So the best performing product was most bought in the size M. While we are well, I'm sorry, but the size L. What you're seeing is 50,000 pieces sold in the size L. So this really helps you understand the composition of your variable. It is really helpful, and Power BI really is really useful with this. And you can also include as many other variables that you want to understand your main variable with. So this is a really powerful tool. So you try to understand your data. This is a really good way you can start. And also, I told you guys that for me, one of the most visualization tools that I use is heat maps. And as you can see here, we're trying to understand trends, which days boost sales, understanding weekly rhythms for optimal strategy. That's something we would like to tell Alex Johnson. Hey, from the data that you sent me, I made a heat map so we can try to understand which days on this month you're having your biggest sales. Okay, so you can say that on Wednesday you have a very grossing sale, on Fridays, on Mondays, and maybe on Tuesdays, according to this month. So maybe you want to do some strategy over that. So heat maps are really good in trying to also understand compositions and trends. And also you get to also recommend something, suggest something for the strategy sales. You can say the overall annual sales trend shows significant fluctuations, and you try to understand why, and the sales team should review these strategies according to the trends that we saw on the heat map. So with that, you will get to provide the most insightful data for Alex that is trying to make better decision, is trying to have the most efficient type of data, and it's I guess that once that you present all this information throughout the dashboards, you will get to have better decision making and data-driven decision making, which is our end goal for any stakeholder. Okay, guys. So I guess that is it in terms of what I wanted to share with you guys. I guess that we are in a good time. So if anyone has any type of questions or concerns that you would like to share with anyone here, please feel free, feel welcome, and yeah, no problem. You can share that with us. Also, guys, here is one final video that I would like to show you that is made from our personal AI. Um, but let me just share that with sound. Just 1 minute. Okay, so this is our personal AI that is gonna do a little summary of what we seen today. Wait.
Overwhelmed by this. Imagine transforming that
Guys, can
chaos
you
into.
hear? Just
Have you ever stared?
please, can you confirm if you can hear?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so let's just have a minute to.
Have
Okay.
you ever stared at a Power BI dashboard and felt overwhelmed by the clutter of data, unsure where to focus? Imagine transforming that chaos into a visually compelling, intuitive, and actionable insight. That's the power of effective data visualization. In the next few minutes, we'll unravel the art and science of creating impactful Power BI dashboards. In the world of data analytics, the ability to visualize data effectively is not just a skill but a powerful tool that aids in decision-making and
Patricio, I cannot hear it more. I think that you're on mute.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
probably why.
Yes, now
Yeah.
now we can hear you.
You can hear it.
Have you
Yes,
ever stared at a Power BI dashboard
Can you hear it, the video?
yes.
and felt overwhelmed
Okay.
by the clutter of
Oh,
data,
sorry. Here we
unsure
go.
where to focus? Imagine transforming the chaos into a visually compelling, intuitive, and actionable insight. That's the power of effective data visualization. In the next few minutes, we'll unravel the art and science of creating impactful Power BI dashboards. In the world of data analytics, the ability to visualize data effectively is not just a skill but a powerful tool that aids in decision-making and strategy formulation. It's the bridge between complex data analyses and actionable insights. Step 1. Understand your data. Begin with a deep dive into your data. Know the story it wants to tell. Every dataset is unique, and understanding its nuances is the first step to effective visualization. Analyze the type, scale, and dimensionality of your data. Step 2. Identify your audience. Who are the end users of your dashboard? Tailor your visualizations to meet the needs and expertise levels of your audience. A dashboard for data scientists will look different from one for marketing professionals. Step 3. Choose the right visuals. Select visual elements that align with your data and audience. Bar graphs, charts, heat maps, each visual has its own strength. The key is to match the visual with the data type and the insight you want to convey. Step 4. Focus on clarity and simplicity. Less is often more. Avoid clutter, focus on clarity. Each element on your dashboard should serve a purpose. Use color, size, and placement strategically to highlight key insights and trends. Step 5. Interactivity and customization. Empower your audience. Incorporate elements of interactivity to allow users to explore data on their terms. Customization features can make your dashboard adaptable to various needs and scenarios. A common mistake is overloading the dashboard with too much information. Remember, the goal is insight, not information overload. A quick tip: always test your dashboard. Gather feedback, refine, and optimize for usability and performance. Are you ready to transform your Power BI dashboards into powerful storytelling tools? Like, share, and subscribe to the Datalytics team for more insights.
Well, I think that was a pretty good summary of what we've seen today, and I guess we can use this last 10 minutes if you guys want to share some of your knowledge or your experience, or if you have any doubts, concerns, questions, feel free. Uh, all of this will be in our data analytics teams group if you want to check it out later. Yeah, I mean, thank you guys. I hope you got as much information as you needed.
Thank you, Patricia, for the data. Has been really helpful.
I
Thank
hope
you.
so. I
Thank
hope so.
you,
Yeah.
Patricia.
Thank you, Patricio.
Yes. I guess we will have more coming with the data analytics team. Carlos will soon will have its own live session, so we will wait for that. So thank you guys. I hope you have an amazing day, and yeah, thank you. Talk to you soon.
Thank you. Thank you. It was a good
Thank
session.
you.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Goodbye.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Have a great
Thank
day.
Thank you
you.
very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Good day.